Hello YouTubers! Tommy here again from Overland Transportation System with the 5th installment of building my shelf layout. Let me turn the camera around, we'll get right into it, what I have for you in this installment. Okay, everybody, we're back to show you the construction of this inner corner, hooking this wall to the long wall. I've left out this piece of plywood so I can work on it when I hook the two modules together. And to show you how I wound up figuring up my angle and my inner piece here, I took my long level, and let me see if I can do this with one hand. Okay, I put the level against the frame that I've already got, and where it come against that frame over there, I drew a line. Okay, and from that line I took a piece of my 1x3 and I put it on that line, and I drew a line on the other side. Now I know when this 1x3 comes in, this is what I need to the first inside corner. Okay, so I did the measurements, and what I come up with was this sketch right here. On that short wall over there, it's 8 9/8. Across this front right here, we've got 29.5. These modules are 20 inches wide, and to this inside corner here, out to this edge, it actually comes out to 19 7/8. And then my angle piece winds up being 30 inches. How I figured that was I took a piece of my 1x3, I put it into the wall, I clamped it. Same thing over here, put it to the wall and clamped it, and I measured the distance between the two, and that gave me 30 inches. So then I cut my pieces of wood, 8 1/8, 19 7/8, 29.5, and my 30. Okay, now what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to use hinges on these inside corners. I don't want to play around with angles and having to screw it together and miter corner blocks and all that stuff. In the past I've done this, it's worked fine. I've just put some hinges on these inside corners and let it find its own angle. So now, showing you all of that, let's go down to the other end where I've already done it on the mirror image. Okay, and here is one already built. The measurements were almost identical. I should have brought the little piece of paper with me. Let me see here. Okay, on this one, the front was 29.5. That was 8 instead of 8 1/2. This one was 19, and that back one was 29 3/4 instead of 30. So it was pretty much right on as far as the measurements go, side to side, as far as being a mirror image. So here we are, we got it built just like I did with the other modules. This corner and this corner were true 90 degrees. So I could take my 2x4, I could put it in the corner for my reinforcement, as I have done all along. You can see, okay, and there's the hinges on the inside corners making the angle for me. I still use my 1 5/8 bolts going through, hooking the modules together, the holes for the wires. And so all I'm left to do now is to deck this with the plywood, and then I'll wrap up this video with that, and that will be all three sides of the room all connected. The short side with the long window and the self-supporting end over here. So that'll be my U-shaped layout. Alright, let me end this video here. I'll deck it and then we'll show it complete and we'll wrap that project up, wrap that part of the project up. And the next installment will be just laying some track up here. No real configuration, just to see a train run around the entire length of it. Alrighty, we'll see you later, and we'll be back very shortly. Okay, everybody, we're back with the next segment of this installment here. As I showed you last time I broke away, I showed you the framework that I put in here. I've cut my piece of plywood and measured it out. Okay, so it fits right in there nice, and this is moved in for my 2x4 corner block there. Got my lines drawn with my little pattern piece for how wide I can go to the center of the 1x3s. And if I take you down this end, we got one that's complete. Okay, we got that small piece added in, and we've got this inner corner decked. So this is complete. Now the only thing left to do on here, as you can see, this is quite narrow. I plan to go with 22-inch radius curves here. I'm only going to use 4-axle locomotives, so I don't really have to go a lot bigger than 22, but I don't want to go any less either. So what I'm going to need to do next, after I make my template to make my curve, I'm going to want to put an inner corner here, and I will probably use hinges for this as well. Put a hinge on each end, deck that triangle, and then I'll have a nice sweep inner curve for track and landscape. And I'll do the same thing down here on this side because I'm faced with the mirror image. And that's it for now. I'm going to wrap this up now, and the next time you see me, probably I'll have track laid on this entire run. No real track plan. I'll just have some track on here just so we can see a train make its journey around the whole wall-to-wall layout. So I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye-bye. Hey everybody, I'm back again with some bonus footage. Quite unexpected late this afternoon, after I've already ended this video with decking all of this layout. I managed to call our secretary from our train club, and they had some snap track with an 18-inch radius, which is not what I'm going with on this. I'm going with 22s. But they had some snap track out in the back patio, and I asked if I could come get some just to hook this all together with some straight flex, just to see how this layout would run. And he said, sure, go get it. And so I went over to the train club and I picked up a dozen so pieces of some 18-inch radius snap track. I laid down some old flex tracks, fellas. This flex track has got fiber ties. It's not plastic. And I put my locomotive on it, and I just got one set of feeders here coming off my NCE power cab, and we're going to run this baby around. And here we go. I got it on forward speed 5. I know this is not going to be no real big whoop to you guys, but it's a big deal to me. It's the first time I've built a layout of my own in quite so many years, and just to finally hook all of these modules together, just throw some track on it. Nothing's nailed down, glued, nothing. It's just put together, laid up on the deck, just to see a train run. One set of power feeders, and this little locomotive will make it all the way around and back, and I'm pretty impressed. I'm very happy. I'll be able to play with this for a couple days while I'm working out my track plan, getting my cork, and figuring out my 22-inch radiuses. And we did get a little, there we go, had a little connection issue right there. Like I said, one set of feeders at the other end, and I should have measured this all out to let you know exactly how long we are. But I know we're 11'8" behind me. This wall here has got to be 20, and then that wall over there is 6'8". So quite impressive. And what I got to do, I'm following the train. I've got my power cab behind me. I got to back off and get to it so we don't run off this end. Then we'll come on back the other direction. Okay. Alrighty. Slow her down. Change direction. And run her back home. And we'll follow that. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We got my first HO layout. I've been in all my whole life since getting into model trains. A little bit experience with some Lionel years ago. But not only did I jump into HO, but also this is my first experience with DCC. My previous experience has just been, oh, we got a derailment. Hang on here. Let me move this guy up. Put him back on. There we go. Okay. My previous experience has all been L-girder construction with ribbon roadbed. This is the first time I've ever tried to use box design, plywood decking, and either foam or whatever for the top, Homosote foam, what have you. Again, I'll figure that all out. What I want to go with right now, I'm just thinking some cork and some foam for some landscaping. I don't know if I'm really going to deck this whole thing in foam or not, because I may do the double decker, and so I want to keep my window and there we are. I want to keep my window as open as possible. I don't want to cramp it up, but I may put a piece of 1-inch foam on top of this plywood. That won't be too bad, and that'll give me nice surface to put the track on, contour down into it. So now I am going to wrap this up, and I will catch you later with further installment of my corners. I just got to put a little something here in these corners, and real 22-inch radius is what I will go with, and start building my track plan and discuss my wirings. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.